Remember how I was talking about Rachel Zegler, Snow, aka Snow Brown, from the new upcoming Snow Brown and the Seven Politically Correct Individuals live action movie? How she was out there shooting her mouth off at every occasion, just doing pretty much anything and everything to just tank what is already shaping up to be a really god awful looking movie. Disney is just raiding their IP vault to find any and everything that they could turn into a live action bastardization and just watch it get flushed down the toilet, and then when that happens, blame the fans as usual. Well, as it turns out, Disney has absolutely no choice but to put out Snow Brown and the Seven Politically Correct Individuals and hope and pray to God it makes some money, because the amount that they have spent on this movie and what we only know about at a certain point, by now it is much higher, is absolutely staggering. Get into this article here from Bounding into Comics. Initial costs for Rachel Zegler's Snow White film are already shockingly high. And oh boy, is it shockingly high. A new report details that the initial cost for the Walt Disney Company's live-action Snow White film, starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, came in at $209.3 million. Now, that is only up to a certain point. But as I go on, you get to understand what I'm talking about. Here's Snow Brown and Gal Gadot. This new report from Caroline Reed at Forbes reveals that the Snow White production went under the code name Hidden Heart Productions Limited in the United Kingdom. According to Reed, in the UK, filings for the company, the Walt Disney Company, had already spent $209.3 million as of July 31st, 2002. So, $209.3 million as of July 31st last year. So a whole year has already passed since that. However, she notes that the United Kingdom's government has granted Disney a $41.4 million tax rebate, meaning that the net spend so far is at $168.2 million. Okay? The key thing to point out here is that these are just the costs through July 31st, 2022, and do not include any production costs incurred after that date. Ford rightly notes its costs are likely to rise sharply as more than a year of post-production still had to be done after the date of the financial statements. It's not just post-production that will increase the cost though. We know from earlier this year they were also doing pickup shots without Rachel Zegler. It's likely these production costs and any more they might have done in the past year will also be included. So this is looking like it's shaping up for the Snow Brown thing to cost like probably 300 million or more. Was looking like at this point. Reacting to this information, financial and box office analyst Valiant Renegade wrote on X, formerly Twitter, Rachel Zegler's Snow White looks like it will have a production cost of, like I said, about 300 million, possibly more. Because if you have to factor in, and it's been more than a year, they have done post-production shooting. They had to go back and do reshoots of certain things. They have to do editing. They have to do that. They have to probably include export scenes, all kind of stuff. That's that. And we haven't even factored in marketing budget at this point. It's quite possible it could go even higher than 300 million. Okay, exactly. Given the production costs that were incurred over the past year, as well as any kind of post-production work the film will undergo. Nevertheless, Reed claims based on these initial numbers, the film will need to gross $336.4 million to break even. That is not accurate at all. However, her calculation does not factor in marketing costs. Yeah, well, obviously, but even so, it doesn't. Let's see how she got to this point. She explains that studios typically receive 55% of box office grosses from domestic theaters and 43% of grosses from international markets. Thus, she explains, taking the average of 43% and 55% gives roughly a 50-50 split of the box office between theaters and studios. She then concludes, if Disney retains around 50% of the takings from Snow White, the movie will need to gross $336.4 million just to cover its baseline spending of $168.2 million. Again, as I said, that's not quite accurate at all. However, as noted above, given there are clearly quite a bit of production costs that are likely still to come in, as well as post-production and marketing, one could see the film needing to bring in at least, $750 million at the box office. That's using a conservative 2.5 factor for Valiant Renegade's $300 million minimum production. The 2.5 times factor accounts for the different grosses as well as marketing costs. Yeah, you see, people, you have to remember something. Yeah, they say that you need 55% of the box office, domestic box office, and 43% there. But that's only a baseline figure. You still have to account for the extra money that is spent on this film. Now, if you say it made 209.3 million over really 100 and something million, that was just up to last year. You still have to account for all the work that is being done here. And remember, these companies never reveal exactly how much these movies cost. It's usually higher. And then you also have to factor in the marketing budget. Once you put all of that together, you understand, it's never going to be a 50-50 split, because in order for a movie, let's say that the movie costs, let's say that the budget is 300 million, and let's say you add another maybe 100 or 200 million or something. So, okay, let's be on the fair side, you add another 150 million for the marketing. Let's just say that. It's normally higher, but let's as a reference. Right. You're only getting back half of that at the box office. So you need to make at least 750 million to just break even. And you may need to make probably over like about maybe 900 million to a billion just to make any kind of a substantial profit. When you're not, like I say, you don't make movies just to break even. You make movies to make a profit. If you don't get that, you're putting yourself in a serious problem. Given the massive budget, it's unlikely the film will recoup its costs. The most recent live-action film, The Little Mermaid, only grossed $569.1 million this year. So that loss, Little Mermaid lost something like about $100 to $150 million just there alone. That's it. And these huge budgets are becoming a big concern for Walt Disney analysts. Financial analyst Valiant Renegade recently pointed out that Needham analyst Laura Martin, who recently attended a 120-person investor presentation at Walt Disney World, shared that Iger did not discuss the company's film weakness. Valiant Renegade commented the Disney film weakness, meaning the weakness of the film that Disney is releasing into theaters, which we have covered here quite frankly and laughed out quite a bit. Yeah, because Disney used to be the family brand. They were making movies that families would want to watch and see. They abandoned that and basically said, you know what, we don't care about these families anymore. We care about appeasing our woke overlords who don't support anything. And when these movies keep losing money, rather than stepping up and saying, you know what, let's listen to the people who are telling us what's wrong with it. Let's go back to making entertainment for all families, not just for the less than 1% that you are literally obsessed with now. No. So you keep losing money and you're doing nothing about it. What does that say? He later discussed a section of Martin's report focused on this box office weakness. Martin explained that Iger did address the company's box office problem, but his solution is cutting back on the amount of Marvel movies and TV shows being produced, as well as cutting back how much they cost. Maybe if you made good Marvel movies that actually stuck to what it was supposed to be, you wouldn't have this problem. But no, you want to put out as much garbage as possible and then wonder why you keep failing. Moving to Pixar, she detailed, Pixar's directors are mostly new, so he feels Disney is better off assigning them existing characters and stories through sequels rather than starting from scratch like Elemental and Turning Red, two productions that bombed quite hard. Commenting on this, Valiant Renegade stated, "Oh great, hand every popular money machine Pixar IPs to new lackeys that don't know they're got from a hole in the ground." That's very accurate. I'm sure that will turn out wonderfully, just like all the Disney remakes and sequels and adaptations of the last 2 or 3 years. Yes, because they all failed. So, of course, you need to give these things out to more people who have no idea what the hell they're doing. That's how you make money. That's it, people. At the end of the day, Snowbrung and the 7 politically correct individuals needs to make a lot of money. And at this point, considering how much Disney has spent on something that looks as terrible as this, they literally cannot afford for this to fail. But then, it's already setting up to fail. Rachel Zegler is literally tanking the movie. And you can't do anything about it because you're so deep into the crap. You have no way out. So Disney has set up themselves to fail miserably. And we're all supposed to sit back and watch it burn. Well, I, for one, am going to relax, rock back, and enjoy the fireworks. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell if I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.